Hey everyone, I'm Will.
And I'm Caleb.
Welcome to the Retrek Review Podcast, a podcast where we talk about every single episode of Star Trek chronologically. But here's the best part. Caleb hasn't seen a single episode.
What is Star Trek? Is it like Star Wars? I've seen Star Wars.
So don't click off this video, because if you do, you won't see Caleb's unique view of what the episode we're about to watch is.
I hated it.
You heard it here. Computer, begin program.
You know, then you're immediately like, well, so why didn't the lasers work on the door? And then the next scene, like, you see that, like, that whole mountaintop is gone.
But we're not hooking them up to a machine to...
We're not draining their life energy to keep the planet running. Yes. And Kirk's like, hold on a minute.
Yes, this is Kirk.
I either wait for the Federation or I send out a distress signal, and anybody who comes to this planet, I eat them. I eat them.
Riker had to be, like, over the top and cliche in his, like, actions for the casino.
Do you see it, Enterprise? Do you see it, Enterprise? Sorrow, cry for the children. First and last, first and last, first and last. Delicious.
All Sarek does is goes like this. And
Yeah, he knocks his hands away.
And then the Teller is like, ah! Kirk literally, he looks at him and he goes like this.
Program complete. Enter when ready.
Welcome back to another Retrek review, where each week we talk about Star Trek. And this week we're continuing to talk about Star Trek The Next Generation. And this episode today is episode 16. And that episode is entitled The Offspring. It originally aired March 12th, 1990. It was written by Renee Echevarria. That's a first-time writer for the show. It was directed by Jonathan Frakes.
That's where he was.
That's where he was. The synopsis for The Offspring is: Data successfully creates a new android, which he views as his child. However, the magnitude of his accomplishment quickly attracts the scrutiny of Starfleet, who wants to separate the child from Data and the Enterprise for study. Matters are complicated further when the child begins to develop beyond Data's abilities. So we're going to try something new this time, maybe make it this way going forward. So instead of getting into guest appearances, let's go over to Caleb and ask Caleb what Caleb thought of the episode.
Well, so some of my favorite Offspring songs are Pretty Fly, Come Out and Play.
Yeah, okay.
Kids Aren't All Right.
Yeah.
You're going to go far, kid.
Yeah. Oh.
Self-Esteem is good.
Oh, that's a good one.
But as far as this episode goes, the overall rating of this episode for me is going to be a 2 Akuda.
2 Akuda.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Not a 3.
Overall.
Not a 1. Yeah, overall, there's a lot of stuff in this episode that I really, really like.
Okay.
But there's a main overarching theme that I keep seeing coming up involving Starfleet stuff that it annoys me drastically.
Yes.
And we'll talk about it.
And we will talk about it at length.
We will. Great ad nauseum. Yeah. So overall, I think the storyline is really good. The questioning of things is good. Acting is great. Yeah, it's one of those Star Trek episodes that, like, it makes you think, and I always like those ones. So yeah, I enjoy all that kind of stuff of it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, peeling back the layers of humanity a little bit, which is
Yeah.
nice.
What is a robot?
I do not know.
I do not know, but I would like to own one.
So more. Yeah.
Make him do all my chores.
I don't want
Yeah, so we'll talk about it, but yeah, I think overall I enjoy this episode. I'm sure this is a highly regarded episode.
to.
Um,
It's in the top rated episodes for the season. Yeah, it's very high.
yeah, which also kind of worries me because there's like 16 episodes left or something
Oh yeah, oh
crazy.
yeah. But the thing is, I had another classic Trekkie like outing with this, which was like awesome. The episode where Data builds his daughter, lol, is cool. And then I watched it and I was like,
Yeah.
ooh.
Lol.
I was like, there's a lot of problems with this episode.
There's a lot of problems. Yeah, so we watched it together and it was super fun and
It
we watched
was
that
super
on
fun.
we watched the VCR
Yeah, like 4 or 5 feet away from us, we watched this episode on a VHS tape
the
with
way Roddenberry intended.
with horrible bottom, what do they call that? Like the tracking was off for the
Yeah.
tape. So, if everything has gone to plan, you saw that episode yesterday called
Retro review.
We definitely have a title.
we yeah, not worried about it. I also think this comes out Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah, go.
Go
Seattle Seahawks.
and
New England Patriots.
well, very good. Yeah, I look forward to talking about it. We got to see it twice, so we're a little more fresh on it. We just rewatched it, so very good.
Yeah, this I'll tell you, this is the first episode I've watched twice.
Hmm,
And what a treat.
what a treat.
What a treat that was.
Well, before we get into our review of the episode, what we want to do first is right off the bat. And we want to thank Ed Mark Star and Captain Ellie Mark for their Patreon support. We appreciate those fellows coming in with their support, helping us out. We appreciate it. We appreciate it greatly. And as a privilege, as Patreon members, they get their reviews read out during our review. So first, from just a few days ago, or I guess a few weeks ago by at this point, Edmark Star left us a comment on our Deja Q review. He says the exchange between Q and Data is wonderful.
Hmm?
But it reminds me that the character of Data never received a full vetting as a season 1 pilot episode because the entire production team was so taken by the idea of two giant space jellyfish being reunited thanks to the good efforts of the new TNG Enterprise crew.
Oh my God, I forgot about that episode.
The treatment of Data as a magical android so advanced that he's one of a kind, never to be replicated, despite repeated trips through the transporter, which is an excellent
Yeah.
point. Excellent point.
Oh,
Excellent
okay.
point.
Yeah.
Is an immature outlook that robbed the world of TNG from being filled with all types of robots, androids, and cybernetic combinations that could
Mhm.
have raised the standards of Star Trek high above the standards set by Gene Roddenberry, who was still stuck in the Meccano, the Mechanical Man, display in the 1939 World's Fair. So it's
Wow.
really, honestly, like super interesting that he said that. I never considered the fact that they can
Mhm.
reassemble data in the transporter. Like
Yeah.
that's a really
That's a hard explanation.
yeah, that's like a hard thing to push past. Yeah, that's
Is
man.
it binary? Is it?
I mean, at the end of the day, I get like the argument would be like it's no more difficult than putting a human body back together, but still,
But it is because, as we learned in this episode, humans haven't been able to
right?
create anything remote.
We don't know how to do anything.
I don't know what this is. That's interesting that that's a good time to read that comment going into this episode because
Yeah,
we deal with a lot of the same interesting stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, I did not think about that. That's pretty good.
And it is a funny thing because in TOS, they show multiple android robot type people in that series. And then we get to TNG and Data is just like there's nothing like Data. And it's like,
Yeah.
I agree because of his complexity, but they definitely treat Data as if like there is nothing else even like remotely walking the galaxy that's even close to Data. And it's like we saw all those robots in my favorite TOS episode, What Are Little Girls Made Of? Like all of those robots were high functioning. Like
Mm-hmm.
the Kirk, they copied Kirk. It's like he was relatively
Yeah,
high
yeah.
functioning, all that stuff. So it's an interesting thing that Gene Roddenberry presented. So
I would be a lot happier if we didn't see the guy that invented Data, like story-wise. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Yeah, because like it just kind of cheapens it, I think, because it's all this like, oh, our brightest minds couldn't come up with this, and it's just like
right.
some dude just was like, oh yeah, I built an android, don't really care about him,
Nah.
boring, and it's like, okay, but like it doesn't really do anything for me.
Yeah, totally.
I would
I mean,
rather Data be some other species invention, and now he's trying to recreate his own,
yeah,
life form.
I
I
can
think
see
that's
that.
interesting.
Yeah, because we're kind of left with not until Enterprise are we now in our watching of it. You're kind of left with that Eric Soong like started the idea, and it took generations of the Soong family creating a cybernetic life
Oh,
form. Like
yeah,
you're
yeah.
sort of supposed to believe that that's why the Soong was able to do it. Professor Dr. Soong was able
The
to do it.
augment guy, right?
Yeah, at the end of the
Yeah.
episode, he's like, "Well, if I can't do,
I'll do robots.
I'll do robots instead,
Got
right?"
nothing else to do in prison.
And that's 200 years ago, so a number of
Yeah.
generations go by. So,
It's interesting. Yeah.
but Enterprise addresses that and at this point,
Mhm.
in the 90s when they're showing this episode, like it's like, hmm. So
Yeah.
he concludes here Deja Q hints at worlds that are made up of non biological beings that would have been given real sci fi writers something to write about. Three exclamation points. So
Well,
he's passionate about it, and
yeah.
I get behind it. Yeah. Well, we appreciate that comment, Ed. It was made us think a lot about it. We're very appreciative of you taking that time to review and make us kind of roll around some extra thoughts.
Yeah. He always approaches it from a different point
Always.
of view than us, and it's always fascinating to me.
Yeah.
He always starts off with this just like, hey, this is interesting. And you're like, oh, I never thought about that. Anyway, catch you guys next week. It's like, you can't just come in here and break my brain. Hey, it's pretty interesting that transporter can do robots, huh? Anyway, catch you guys later.
See you later.
Like, oh,
Yeah, he likes
yeah,
to
that's
drop
true.
bombs and then leave.
Yeah, I know. And there's really I mean, I'm sure there's probably a good technobabble explanation for it.
Next is a review from Captain Olimar. He leaves it on our review of The High Ground. He starts off with George Washington. I too remember when Abe Lincoln was on the Enterprise, and I still don't understand why he gave him full military honors. At that point in the episode, he knew that he wasn't the real Lincoln. What a class act Kirk was.
Yeah, it was simpler times.
Simpler times. Then what's Captain Olimar say? We're back, baby. Now, this is the episode where Beverly simps for terrorists.
Yes, it is. I see that you used my great picture as your poll. That was my
Oh,
favorite.
I had to.
Yeah, that was good. I love the idea of him having all these
Like waifu things.
anime waifu statues in his cave. It's so funny to me. I love it.
Yeah. I recalled this episode as being pretty poor, so let's see how it holds up, shall we? I like how Caleb brought up that the intro is saying that the planet is having dangerous terrorist activities, but they have time to casually have brunch on the planet.
Well, yeah. Yeah, it's so stupid. That was like my
Nice.
first thing was like, why are they on this planet if it's so hostile and why are they just hanging out?
Yep.
Because plot and Beverly needs to be taken and they
I,
couldn't
I,
possibly think of it any other way.
I'm sure we're biased, but I would assume that Melinda didn't write that scene.
No. No. She's a
Nice.
dialogue person.
I know that, yeah, very true. Nice security measures, Worf. A day late and $1 short with being concerned for everyone's safety.
Yep.
I don't know why Beverly isn't saying anything to Finn.
Is he doing this on purpose?
Oh, 100%. He's capitalizing it and spelling it the way that it's spelled in the show.
Yeah. Just to show you the core, the how everything's all the same.
It's all the same. Well, he's a dual fan.
Yeah, it's great.
She should at least say her name and rank, which I agree with. I thought it was weird that she didn't give him her like code or the like that thing where there's it's like Commander Beverly Crusher.
You mean like when you get like kidnapped
Yeah,
by
yeah,
insert?
yeah,
Yeah, that's a military training to say your name and rank over and over, like when
yeah,
you're being interrogated. Yeah,
yeah. Will brings up Finn is weirdly familiar with their history, especially the history of one country from hundreds of years ago. That's just one nation of pre-Federation Earth,
he
which
loves it.
was, yeah, it's very strange. Finn brings up that the Federation had to fight wars so he can do whatever he wants. All ends justify all means. This is the same argument that quote unquote bad actor states in our current world say when the US condemns their human rights
Mm.
abuses, quote, the US had slaves in the past, so we can abuse our citizens now.
Wow, yeah, it all circulates, you know.
Yep.
That was my favorite thing from Battlestar Galactica, which I would like us to do after Star Trek. But
Mm.
that was like the big theme in that was that like it happened before, it'll happen again. And it's basically saying like history repeats itself. Like last time you were on the other side of the battle. This side
I
you just
see.
happen to be on the good side. Yeah, it's a very cool concept that like
Interesting.
no, we've been down this road before. That's why you feel deja vu. Just that I was in the other chair last time. You're like, "Oh, that's cool." But that's
Interesting.
what I always think of. So like you have this is from the 90s and now here we are. It's kind of like a lot of these episodes that we watch really tie into like what's happening
Oh,
on
yeah,
the
yeah.
planet like now because it's just history just it just
It
repeats itself over
constantly
and
repeats. Yes. Yes, it does. Trivia states that the episode was originally about the American Revolution, which would have made the George Washington line make more sense, but the change
hmm
to the Troubles wasn't good, quote
the
unquote.
tribbles.
Picard sure doesn't have much to say about terrorism. Data says it just works, and he has no argument against it.
Yeah.
Nice.
He
Nice.
that's how Todd Howard feels too.
Oh, no.
Skyrim, it just works.
It just does.
Actually, Todd, it barely works, but that's beside the point. We fixed it as the community. Thank you. Anyway, continue.
Very strange to hear talk about terrorism pre 9/11. Before then, you're all right that I never really heard about it happening much. Yeah.
hmm Yeah,
I mean,
it was not a big phrase that was used after everything that happened. Yeah.
right. Yeah. Like obviously it was a thing. It's been a thing for a long time,
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah.
but like
But it
not
was
every
not, yeah.
headline wasn't like this thing happened, terrorism. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure like how Picard lunges himself at Finn, hilarious. I'm glad Will hated Finn drawing Beverly. I hated it too, just
It's
really
really
stupid.
it's really disgusting.
It's a terrible. It's the stupidest thing. Just like this episode. Beverly is like, I love this guy, even though he tried to blow up my son. Nonsense. Just
But
like
deep
the
down,
ending.
he like cares about like his people and stuff.
Have you heard what he had to say?
Yeah, I know he like killed a bunch of people. But do you see how like his that white thing just goes like whoop? That's cool, right?
Have you seen how he draws my nose?
Yeah.
Devos says it's for the best because now he's a martyr and he can't be freed from prison. Clear as mud. Will liked the boy, but he's so undercooked. Caleb's right. I don't think he even had a line. Didn't even get paid.
Nope.
Poor episode this week. One of the weaker season 3 episodes. I like when Will talks about his memories of the episodes and how his opinions change or are reinforced as we go along with the show. And this episode was poor in memory and poor in retrek. One Kazinti.
Nice.
Which, you know what? I agree, because this is another one of these episodes we're going to talk about today. The Offspring is very much one of these examples. But in continuing his thought, one Kazinthi is still surprising that he just didn't like it. He didn't hate it or didn't really
Yeah.
dislike it. I figured at least two. So just interesting.
Yeah, it could have been a lot worse.
Maybe that's where his rating comes from. Yeah.
Did he give it the same as me, or was I a
No, I
little
think
bit
you did
more?
one Akuda. I think you did one Akuda.
Yeah, we need to go like we need to
well,
re-rate them after.
well, here we go. This is interesting.
Oh, good.
So first, before we get there, We'll do it here on this episode because I'm not sure when we'll get to a Hailing Frequencies open episode. But he says here, Popcorn Award to Data for advocating for political change through violence. A very Star Trek idea. So,
Mm,
which that's a good one.
yeah.
Caleb already awarded the Popcorn Award to Carrie Keene. He picked Carrie Keene, who played Alexander Devos, the main security officer. So we appreciate you putting in your award for that. We know that you were putting in Data just merely as a funny, but we still appreciate it. But here's the thing that he says at the end of it.
But we take it seriously.
We do take it seriously.
And you chose it, now you're stuck with it. So
Yep.
Joke's on you.
So this is an interesting thing, and I was going to bring it up last week, and I forgot to. But before I tell Caleb what it says, I'm going to go forward and say I am going to do it, and I'll tell you what it's going to be called after I read what he says. He says, P.S. I want the Caleb after discussion rating. See how the peer pressure gets to him.
Caleb, after discussion.
So I am going to allow, since so far Q has appeared once every season, you get one Q finger snap, one Q snap per season where you can change your rating at the end of the episode.
Oh, that's insane. I'll never remember to do that. It's like too much power and also not enough power.
Exactly. Just like a Q episode. But extra
That's an
donations.
interesting idea.
That's the way I look at it. And I know that we all have a variety of opinions on it. I do, you do, everybody watching does. The reason I leave it the way it is because that's how you felt about it at first watch. Then when we go on to talk about it, you have like a change of opinion because you've been influenced by my discussion, their comments, further explanation of the episode. It isn't really your gut reaction rating to the episode.
Yeah.
I like that it's a pure take and you pure rate it just how you feel, because that's what it was. At the end of the day, you liked it, you didn't like it. Because I never want it to be like you come in, you're like, one Kazinti didn't like it. We talk about it for an hour and a half, and then you're like, I love this episode. It doesn't feel genuine. It feels like we just came in and changed your mind. And I'm fine with that being that way.
Yeah.
But I think as an official rating, it needs to be the way it is.
That's fine. Yeah. Yeah. I like that idea. I know myself enough to know that like I really wouldn't do a Picard switcheroo at the end.
Yeah.
Not that drastically anyway, but yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
So we'll just do one per season that way, because Q comes in and messes things up and we allow for it. And you can go like this, and then you say 3 Kazenti.
Might do this episode.
Yeah,
just get it out of the way.
You might. So we appreciate your review of that episode, Captain Elimar. We appreciate you letting us know those thoughts. And it makes it fun. It helps us not only talk about it, but have a different perspective. And like you brought to our attention, this is like a great book review. So we have multiple ways of discussing the episode, which is awesome. Also, on the YouTube side of things specifically, we had a couple new subscribers. Our first subscriber that we had is Andrew Cruz.
Nice.
So thank you so much, Andrew, for
Tom Cruise's brother.
Different spelling, but yeah. Yeah,
That's cool.
So we appreciate you, Andrew, for subscribing. And our other latest subscriber is Dirk. So thanks for subscribing, Dirk.
Yeah.
Nice. As Caleb said a couple episodes back,
welcome aboard.
So we thank you all for subscribing and sticking around with our reviews. Just because Captain Elimar and Ed Mark Star get their comments read on the channel, feel free to leave your own reviews down below. We'll read them on a different series called Hailing Frequencies Open. We haven't done that in a bit, so if you want to have us talk about your comment, read it, mull things over, we welcome you to do that. That would be fun to do.
Yeah.
But without any further ado, let's get right into the review. Yeah, so we start with it mentioning that Riker's on leave, which is a good way of not having Jonathan Frakes in the episode. We also learned that Data was at a cybernetics conference. That's where
learn all sorts of cool stuff.
All cool stuff. Then we get like a really weird bit where we learn from Wesley kind of via Geordi that Wesley tried to get into the lab without Data's approval.
He's been locked in there like all day.
And then Jordy's like, what do you mean? And he's like, mm,
Never mind.
I'm just
Hey, Deanna,
violating.
why are you the only one that has a really low cut uniform? Let's talk about that.
I don't want to talk about that. Yeah, it's just really funny. It's like, I don't know. It's probably because I don't enjoy kid stuff, but I'm just like, why is it funny that Wesley's trying to invade other people's privacy? It's kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't know. It was a little weird, but it's.
I know it's
I
played
get
off as
that,
like,
like, but like him and Data are friends, and it's. I feel like if you were locked in the lab all day, I would be the same way. Maybe I don't know.
I don't know.
I never even know what he's doing in there.
That would be like if you went to like a 3D printer conference and you went to your house and then you were in your house doing some using like new technology and I just was trying to like you just hear me at your door like trying to get
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
What are you doing?
You become like my Dee Dee
Yes,
from
exactly.
Dexter's Lab.
Exactly. Get out of my lab. I thought it was really funny that Data apparently likes theatrics because they open the door. He has the foot in his hand. He's like, "Oh, excuse me, you're here early." He puts the foot on the
Oh,
machine. He raises it to the ceiling. He lets them come in, and he's like, "I'd like you to meet somebody." And then he just lowers it back down. And I was like,
behold!
and I was like, for a television, I get why they're doing it for a television show. It's the
Yeah,
reveal of the being. But the
yeah.
thing is, it's like, why would Data care about this? Like, why would he make it theatrically? It's just it was a funny bit.
It also is kind of funny too because it also kind of shows maybe he's learning about
Right,
human
exactly.
stuff. It's like he thinks it's funny to be like dramatic. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure his data banks have like Frankenstein, like classic books that people would still be reading 400 years in the future.
Yep. So we learn what the android's name is. Its name is Lal, and here's our first guest appearance.
Yeah.
Underneath all of that makeup is Leonard Crowfoot. Now, Leonard
Interesting.
Crowfoot has already appeared on The Next Generation. He played Trent in the episode Angel One. He
Uh,
was the manservant for the leader there that sprayed perfume on his body. We've
oh,
talked about him.
yeah. I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
So pretty cool that the robot person, like the nondescript android, is played by Leonard Crowfoot.
That's cool. Yeah.
And
He's just like small framed enough to be that.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we end this sequence with Data calling Lal his child, which is like, oh, very interesting. Father.
She called
Yeah,
him father.
father.
Father? Ooh.
Could you wait? Is there a perfect cut where Luke is on the thing holding it and he's like, "No, Luke, I am your father." And then he's like,
Yeah.
it cuts to Wesley.
Yeah. There will be after this, after we're done recording this, yes.
He told me you killed him. No. I am your father.
That is super funny.
That's a hard cut. Yeah.
Oh,
So
man.
we come back from our musical intro. Picard is apparently called to the lab, which is really interesting. I was thinking how this plays out is the three of them learn of the child, right?
Just been informed that has been
Right. So the three of them, Geordi,
data.
Wesley, and Troy, learn of his creation,
They immediately
and exactly they immediately call Picard. Like, no.
Picard, you're gonna want to get down here.
Because it doesn't feel like Data would have called him down. Like, why wouldn't he? He would originally have called Picard to come if he was showing people. So, no,
I
I
don't
know.
know.
I know. Data is confused by why he needed to be consulted before.
Yeah, nobody else consults Picard on their breeding
Yep.
aboard the starship,
Which is a great argument.
which is, yeah, that's true. They don't, because Riker would have to call him every, hour or so.
Yeah, it's true. Picard weirdly finds Lal an invention and not just his offspring, which I thought was like not his.
Yeah,
That corridor walk where he talks to Troy is so out of character that I hated it because one, why is he calling Lal an invention when he's already fought for the sentient rights of Data, which he does reference in this episode, but still, like,
which makes it even more confusing when he
it's like
brings
it's
that up.
not
And
an
it's like,
it's like right. It's like you've already discussed that this is a life, so he didn't create an invention; he created life. And then Troy gives him the rebuttal of like, well, but it is a child, and so on and so forth. And Picard's like, the strength of 10 men is hardly a child. And I was like, you literally argue in the defense of Data in the episode that mega strength is not like a thing to like use against the androids. Because Riker shows Data bending the metal. And he's like, oh, see, he's weird. He's such a weird thing. And
well, the thing
Picard's
that you're
like,
forgetting, Will, is that episode doesn't matter.
oh, that's
Yeah. No, we don't talk about previous episodes. That's not a thing. It's no, and here's my biggest complaint. Well, I mean, we'll get more involved in it, but
yeah.
what this does for me is it makes me feel like Picard is very in tune with his ship, and it's like he hates this. But then when somebody else tries to come on board and tell him what to do on his ship, now he has a problem with it. And now he's going to
Well,
defend
yeah.
it. And it's like, I don't like that. That's not a good captain. And I know like that's not how he is, but
No,
that's how
right,
they
right.
portray him in this episode.
It's 100% how they
And I don't
portray him.
not a fan. And it's like, why did you write him this way?
Right. And it's like I can understand like a heated discussion and he's saying things emotionally as they walk, but at the same time it's like he shouldn't react like that in this
Yeah.
perfect society. And also he literally was the lawyer to like defend Data. So like it feels so I
Yeah.
wrote here that all of his arguments fall flat.
They do.
And then I made the point that, and I know they wouldn't do it because it's 1990 and they would be too afraid to pull away from the main cast. But I feel like this episode would have served 1,000 times better if the episode took place at the conference that he was at. If he was creating the brain, because he says he made like a positronic matrix or something, and then brought that to the Enterprise and continued to build LOL. When he was like going to transfer from the conference to the Enterprise, like this is when this issue comes up. Like, well, you can't leave with the positronic matrix, and he's like, well, it's like his baby. They view the positronic matrix, it's like as his baby. And now it's like this whole debate of, is it a child? Is it not a child? Did he just make an invention? Did he not make an invention? All that, I think, is more suited for the argument, because at that point, it's not a walking, talking thing. It's just a brain. And it's like, yeah, but essentially it is the living force of the android.
Yeah.
And just have all of those admirals and all of those researchers that are pining for him, just have them that's who's arguing him to stay or leave the positronic matrix there. I don't think it helped in any way for him to already have built the machine, and now like Picard just can't stand it and then immediately tells Starfleet, and then they're like, well, we have to have it.
That's the thing is I don't really understand why he contacted Starfleet to begin with, but
yeah, it's pretty stupid.
I mean, it's just the fact that, like, yeah, Picard definitely gets our Quantum Leap award this week because he just flips so quickly, like so adamantly about stuff. And it's like, so he's like yelling about it in the beginning, and it's like, so first of all, Data.
Right.
You understand that he didn't come and tell you because he doesn't view this as like a thing. He followed all of Starfleet things.
Right.
But he didn't like come and tell you what he was doing because, like, why would he? Like, why should he?
Right.
And like he's mad about it because he's the captain. He should have been informed. And it's like, well, okay, but he didn't, because that's how Data is. That's how Data is.
Right. But he also makes the point that that's like, procreating. It's like other couples on the ship don't go and tell you they're doing that.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, great. Like, okay, I get that point. Like, you should inform the captain. And then but then he's mad and he's like, we're not going to call it a child. And then Deanna's like, well, yeah, but to him it is. And he's like, well, I don't know. Whatever. And then he talks to him in his ready room. Yeah. And again, he's like, this is a serious thing, Data. Like, you created a new being.
Right.
And it's like, okay, this is a valid conversation. And then when Data's like, well, I didn't know it would upset you, I'll just switch it off. And he's like, Data, it's a life. You created a life. And it's like, okay, but now you're switching to the other side now. The fact of the matter is that, like, this is extraordinary. Data's a robot.
Right.
He's done something that even humans in Starfleet with all their brains have not been able to do. Right. He's created another robot, another android. That's fascinating. Is it dangerous? Maybe. Right? Like, I get that. Like, yeah, maybe this is a bad thing. But I think it's more dangerous for Starfleet to take it and experiment on it and want to create their own. I think
Yeah.
that's
way
bad.
more. Way more. Yes. Yes.
But Picard knew that when he contacted Starfleet, he knew that they were going to want that ability to take and recreate it,
yes.
you know?
Yes.
So he contacts him and then he gets all mad at them. And it's like, now you're fighting for the other side. He's all over the place this episode.
Yeah.
And it
really
really
is.
kind of drove me nuts.
Yeah. I totally agree.
Yeah, especially because, like you said, because he was involved with a lot of stuff involving, getting Data aboard the ship and fighting for androids and also defending Data. And it's like you have all that established.
Yeah.
And now he's upset and outraged that Data created a new life. And it's like, why?
It's a great use of Sam Archer, our award, because it's
Well, yes,
Yeah,
I think Picard and also the Admiral both get it. Because the Admiral is like, he's such a jerk. I can't stand him in this episode.
Terrible. He's terrible in this episode.
We'll get into it, but when he does this whole thing like, well, she needs to come and learn what it's like, and it's like, well, no, she works at 10 Forward because this is where like humans hang out and how to learn how to be human. He's like, she can run programs in her brain, and you got her in here serving drinks. It's like, but don't you want her to be a human? Don't you want her to blend in and be that like good balance? And it's like, no, so you want a war machine, basically is what you're saying.
Right.
You're telling us that you want a weapon. You don't want it to learn how to be human.
Right.
So you're already wrong. And then at the end of the episode when he's trying to help Data, he's like, there was nothing we could have done. Okay, dude. All right, dude. Get on your ship. Go back to whatever nerd lab you came from. Go.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you.
And don't let the swishing doors
hit
your butt on the way out.
Yeah. Yeah, don't let the actuated doors hit your face. Oh my God. Yeah, I know. I really hated that whole kind of like plot. I feel like there were so many other good ways to go with this story. That's what I mean.
100%.
The core details are here. Like this is fascinating. Data creating a life, a child, is fascinating.
Super fascinating, right?
And then for the whole episode to be about Picard and this guy ahead of the cybernetics program, which first of all, what is he doing in cybernetics? They haven't made a breakthrough in 300 years. So why is there still even a department based on cyber? I don't understand. And what is she going to learn? What is she going to learn more there that Data can't teach her if you haven't even built a robot in the first place? Right. It makes no sense. Anyway, there's a good story in this episode.
Yeah,
they didn't find it.
Yeah, and to your point, like it's later in the episode, but like all the stuff you say, like Data or Lal end up like giving that as an argument. Like, why is this happening?
Mm-hmm.
And it's a thing where
the ship blows up.
Yeah, it's like Picard and Haftel's arguments never have any weight to them once Data or Lal like rebuttal.
No, and the one thing I will say is that when I thought the episode was going to go a certain way, it didn't do the typical thing where when you had her tell him that like she wants to stay and she'll come after she learns what she learns. He was like, "Oh, interesting." And then he talks to Data. And Data was like, I really don't want you to take her. And he gives like this whole like heartfelt thing. And it's like at that moment, I was like, all right, he's going to be like, you make a lot of good points, But he's like, well, that's really great. Anyway, as an admiral, I'm going to have to force you to bring her on board my ship. And I was like, wow, I'm surprised they dug in and went that way,
Yep.
So I'll give them that. But that is it.
That's as far as
that's all you'll get from me.
Yeah. So
gust me.
Going back to the first part of the episode, they're walking Data, Lal without form, and Troy walked down the hallway. Lal wants to look like Troy, which is really funny.
I want to be like you.
Just like that person. And he's like, that would be confusing.
Human, female.
Then she picks, Data provides 7,000 options. Clearly, it takes a long time because Troy is sleeping in the holodeck.
Troy falls asleep, yep. She's not interested in other people's emotions and stuff.
No. Well, you have to admit, over 7,000 choices between Data and Lal would probably not be too entertaining.
But she's a psychiatrist, and she's supposed to be invested in people, and this is the first time she's seen a life created in front of her.
And what does this episode teach us about that? They're not people.
They're not people. That's true. But did you also know that Troy also had a kid, and that's why she's upset at Picard because she's had a child?
Yeah, well, there was a little brief reference to that in the corridor. She does kind of make reference to.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, it's interesting.
And she's like, "Well, you obviously, Picard, have never had a child. You've never been a
Yeah,
parent." And we're like, "Neither of you, really? Like having an alien that grows old in like a day and a half doesn't really equate you as a parent, I would say."
yeah, it's weird. The
Yeah.
child is not a strong episode.
It's not a great one. It's my favorite intro to our show, but other than that,
Um, then she whittles it down to an Andorian female, a human male, a human female, and a male Klingon.
yes.
And we get
A friend for Wolf.
a friend from Wolf. We get a interesting two things here with the Andorian. One, if the female Andorian looks atrocious in comparison to Star Trek
Yeah.
Enterprise, and also
Absolutely
TOS,
terrible.
it looks horrendous.
Horrendous.
Nothing against
Yeah, how does it
Michael
look better in
Westmore or
TOS?
anything. It's crazy, dude. It's crazy. It's terrible.
It's like they didn't even look at what they looked like. They're just like, I don't know, blue, and they wear like ugly white uniforms. I don't know.
yeah, and also
like-
they're just like their entire bodies are like teal.
It's
Like
so
everything
bad.
about them was
I tell you, that's the hardest part for me watching Enterprise first.
yeah, yes.
I freaking love Andorians because of that show.
Yes.
Shran is one of the top tier best Star Trek character ever created. Okay.
Yep.
Right. And I don't think I'm alone in saying that. And now to go backwards in time, and it's like, oh, it almost makes me wonder, like, why did they choose the Andorians to be like a main? I get like because they were at war with the Vulcans. Okay. Like I'm getting it.
Right.
So like, okay, cool. But like, man, to go backwards, I just like, ah.
Well, I think what really when you think about it, talking about Star Trek Enterprise, I think when you go to that TOS episode, Journey to Babel, we see all of
Yeah.
like the founding
Yeah.
species of the Federation.
Yeah, the
And
Tellarite. Yeah.
And I think that's what the creators of Star Trek Enterprise did. They looked at who was in that room and they said, here's our core alien basis that we can have in the show. Vulcans, Tellarites, Andorians.
Romulans. Got it.
But a really interesting thing that she says in it, and I thought, man, that's a kind of not great thing to say. Troy says when the appearance of the female Andorian comes up, she goes, there are no other Andorians on the
yeah.
Enterprise.
That could cause a lot of like whatever issues. Like
not having friends, basically.
yeah. I was
And
like,
right. Yeah.
This
One
is our
that's-
first taste of like, oh, so this perfect society, huh? This is really great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a bad remark on people not accepting alien races, but also out of like whatever it is, like 8,000 people on the Enterprise, there's not one other Andorian. Like, give me a break.
It's stupid.
It's really bad.
That is funny that I forgot about this line. So you bring this up. This is legitimately like where the xenophobia in this episode starts from.
It does start here, yes.
And it snowballs from here, but it starts in this scene when she says that. And but Data's the one that says, "Oh, that could being one of the only Andorian could lead to like developmental issues, being an outcast." Basically, is what he's saying.
Right.
And it's like, okay, so but if Data's saying that, then that means that he also feels that way because he's the only android on board.
There's some xenophobia in this episode for sure. There's a couple other bits that come up that definitely play.
Well, when we get to the school scene,
yes,
that's another one, and it's like, I thought in this world, like we don't, like the whole point of what we're doing out here is we're trying to find alien life, and it's like cool to us, not to like shy away from it or like treat them differently or but every chance they get to make that like a dramatic thing, they 100% do it. And this is not the first episode. There's been a lot of episodes,
tons of episodes. Yeah. It's kind of funny that they talk about it so much. It's like I don't think I can get on quite the same page anymore that they were so progressive, at least with Next Generation.
I don't feel it.
Yeah, but we get Lau choosing the most boring, non-efficient species ever. It's
Yeah,
like,
which one of these requires no makeup and she can just come right to set?
right. It's a
Well, we have
thing.
this lady with a bob haircut. That's all right, perfect. Let's do
It's
it.
like I get that like Lau isn't like she doesn't know anything about like engineering and she's not gonna try to go and like build things and fix things. But you would think an
Yeah.
android would pick a species that was a part of the Federation that had like four arms or like six eyes or whatever. It was just like this very like multi capable species
Yeah.
so that she could be like hyper efficient and do many things and like learn very quickly. It just was really funny that she just picked a human female. Out of all of these choices, this is what she picks. It just
I think too. Let me try to say this as gingerly as
okay,
possible.
yeah.
But choosing a female, I think it's so much more work for Data to like explain
Oh, everything.
like how things work. I mean, not that
Right.
not
I know what
to
you're
get
saying.
into
I know what you're
like
saying.
men are gonna be hitting on you. This is what this means. Like Guinan's teaching her what like kissing and flirting is, and like, but we've also seen from this society that like women aren't really handled super well
Right, right.
always. That's tough.
Yeah, and I want to say too that like the only defense I could say is that Data strives to be human so hard so that maybe those connections, those like data packets transferred to her so she in turn wants to be human. It's possible. But
Yeah.
in general, I agree with you that like it's just it's a weird choice. Just is. With her being a robot, I think her picking to be human is very strange. If you exclude Data wanted to be human.
Yeah, and
Um
I obviously it's a production thing. They blew their
100
budget on the robot and the Andorian
yeah.
and the the the,
Yeah, and the cut, that
the
full like
Klingon.
the full like swing between each of them, right? Like to get that
Yeah,
in one camera cut. Yeah.
because honestly, think about it. They even didn't like do prosthetics on Michael Dorn this episode. I think there's like one scene he's in.
Yeah, he's only in like a couple scenes, yeah.
And so, like, he's obviously not a more crucial point of this episode because, like, they didn't want to, like, have the makeups department have to, like, do him up for the
Yeah.
whole 4 days or whatever filming is. It's fine. You can still write a good story with limitations, but
Yeah, like I'm not upset that like it's a it's a human woman. Like that doesn't bother me. It's just the fact of
yeah, no, I know
like
that.
there could have been more interesting alien decisions. That's my
Well,
point.
yeah.
Because even
But
I'm
that's
honest,
our,
because my point is even if she picked a male human, I would still would be like that's stupid.
yeah, no, I know. That is Star Trek, baby.
Yep, it is. But this is our introduction of our other guest appearance, Haley Todd. That's who plays Lal. She's still cooking at
Nice.
64 years old. And
She's
she,
excellent.
oh, yeah, she is
She's really good in
tremendous
this
in this
episode,
episode.
yeah.
Tremendous. She goes on to play Joe McGuire in the Lizzie McGuire show. She's the mom.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I thought you would enjoy that.
That is crazy.
Yeah, pretty cool. We cut away from that music, that break. We come back. Data's teaching Lal. She does the whole painting, soft, flower, smell, touch.
I'll explain to you what each painting represents. Oh, she's gone.
Yeah,
She's obviously not an artist at heart.
no.
No.
Lal loves.
Soft.
Yeah, that's very good.
That's right, lol. That is soft.
Painting. No.
Smell.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
Good stuff.
Lal
Love
loves
it.
it. She loves it.
She loves
Gotta tell you
life.
though, two great bits, two really good bits in this sequence was he's at the table with her and she drinks and just all of it runs out of her mouth and
Doesn't swallow it.
and
Yes.
he's
Yeah,
like,
it's very good.
"Oh no!" And then they cut to Wesley and him and the thing, and he throws the
Oh,
ball
the
at her.
the ball thing is hilarious.
It's
Yeah.
great. It's really good.
And he like he when he looks over and he like smiles like approvingly, but it's like, wow, that was really bad. Like she's really delayed.
Right, right. Yeah.
Very funny, yeah.
But in the sequence with him doing the dialogue, like the over dialogue, his log, we learn a lot of like Data's activation background. Like this is what we're to imagine this is how Data came to who he is. Like when he was first was activated, he was doing things like soft painting and like
Yeah.
not swallowing and like bad reflexes, not blinking. Like we learn about the
The
blinking thing.
blinking thing was cool. I like that again, like as a production means of explaining like why sometimes we see
Yes,
Data blinking. It's like, well, he's a robot. He's not supposed to blink, but it's like, well, his programming sometimes, his programming said that like that makes you more human to blink. So that's why he does it. It's like, I like that. I like that you explained it like that.
right, right. Like they try. Then he's working on law with Wesley, and Wesley's like, "Hey, she should be in school," and he's like, "She's only 4 weeks old," and he's like,
Yeah.
"Well, or at least around her age," and I was like, "So 1 year olds?" Like, and it's like, also, why would you send a 4 week old to school? It was very like, I get it. She's a grown adult woman, but it's like,
Uh,
I,
yeah, you got to do something. So when the admiral says, like, well, she's not really
mm,
showing a certain thing. I don't remember the phrasing of it, but he's basically saying like she's not going to learn anything more here. Like she hasn't really improved from the time she's been here. And it's like, dude, it's been like 2 days.
exactly, right,
He's talking about it like it's been like years that she's been on
years,
board, and like,
right.
well, she's learned all she can learn here, and it's like she's been alive for a day, dude. She's actually very advanced for being 6 hours old, but
Right,
that's
right.
that's beside the point.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of that, that's next after the Wesley and Data scene. We cut to Picard talking to Admiral Anthony Halftel, who is our other guest appearance of Nicholas Coster. He passed away in 2000 or 2023.
Wow.
And he probably most known for those out there who watched it is playing Robert Delaney on the series Another World. But we get to see his appearance, and he's incredibly closed-minded, like immediately. He's terrible in even this opening bit.
Yes.
Because Picard's like, Sam Archer's leaped into him, he's changed his mind, and now he's like, I don't think that's a good idea. And Admiral's like, I'll be the judge of what ideas are good.
Yeah. I thought you were coming on board to just, see what was going on. Not that you've already
Yeah,
made up your mind. Well,
exactly.
I did.
You were wrong.
Robot comes with me, Picard. To
Exactly.
see if she's functioning in other regards. Oh
So
my God.
he's terrible. We cut to the school scene with Lieutenant Ballard, which is our next guest appearance.
Which is cool.
Yeah, we see a teacher. She's played by Judy Ann Elder. She's still going at the age of 77. And probably most notably, for those who are big fans of it and paid that close of attention, she played Harriet Winslow on Family Matters for the remaining 8 episodes of its ninth and final season after the departure
Wow.
of Joe Marie Payton.
Oh,
So,
okay.
kind of crazy. Yeah. So this is an interesting scene with the teacher. I don't like it. I think it's really bad. The children are clearly xenophobic because it goes on to say not only are they afraid of her, but they're not afraid of her because she's violent or like hurting
She's
them.
different and
She's just different.
disgusting.
So shun her.
Yeah.
And when she gets on,
I have mastered comedy
yeah,
without knowing comedy.
I wrote that quote. I thought it was a great quote. So without
No, actually,
understanding,
lol. Laughing at your stupid face.
yeah, why? Yeah, I wrote the quote. So without understanding human, I have somehow mastered
That's pretty
it.
funny, yeah.
Yeah, it was
And
good.
it's just funny because it's something that like Data has strived for, so
Yes.
it's very good.
But, the thing that you learn is, hey, guess what? 24th century kids are still unkind in school.
Yeah,
And
they're
it's
still
just like,
bullies and they hate people with differences and they pick on people with differences. Isn't that
it's
great?
like, wow.
So
So
how is
nothing,
this a perfect society? I don't
right.
understand.
Nothing changes in 300 years. Yeah.
Nah.
Great. So, other than this small bit that just is a dialogue piece of writing, which isn't her fault, there are two scenes in this whole episode that I think steal the episode that we're not talking Lal and Data because they're obviously, so we'll say B
Yeah.
scene stealers. And it's Data consulting Beverly is scene one. I think the way that they wrote, except for one bit, Beverly's interaction with Data about Lal and parenting is superb.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's really good to have her in a scene.
Yeah.
I know, like when we watched it, I was making fun of the fact that he's like, "Well, how did you become such a great parent?" She's like,
Uh,
"Well, I left the
yes.
ship, and you know,
Yeah.
like obviously it's not her fault
No.
for leaving the show, but
But
like
she also doesn't
it was
try to pretend that she is really good at it. You know what I mean? So
no,
that's
no, and I think any good parent would act like this. So
it's just I just really appreciate it because she was like one of the first people other than maybe Wesley in the show that like was dealing with Data having an actual child and like how do you parent this child correctly. It was not this whole thing of like, well, it's not really a child, it's an android. But is it a child? Is it an android? Is what is it? Like
yeah,
she just was very forward and upfront with Data and I liked it.
and that's why the Picard stuff upsets me even more because it's like you have Guinan and you have Beverly that are just like, all right, this is
Right.
this is Starfleet in its space. This is normal. This is just
Right.
this is the new
Oh,
normal, and
yeah.
we're just gonna roll on and we're gonna deal with this.
Data, Beverly, Guinan, a little bit of Wesley, and Lal are like the only people, maybe Troy a little bit, are the only people in this episode that support the foundations of what you would expect Starfleet the future to be like
Yeah.
in this type of episode. Any of the other characters that interact with her, which are mainly the Admiral and the Captain, it's like, who are these people in this world? Like,
They're fighting over her as a piece of hardware or a
as a
piece
piece.
of,
Yeah,
you know.
exactly. Yeah,
And I thought that's not what I thought that's
exactly.
not what society was anymore,
Yeah,
you
we
know?
had already had the court proceeding that like they're not Starfleet's property. So if they're not
Yeah.
Starfleet's
So you
property,
can't.
they're lives and you have no
Yeah.
control over them.
You can't just come in here and tell us what to do either. You
Right.
know, like when he's like, I want that android out of 10 forward immediately. It's like, okay, well, that's great, but I'm the captain and I don't. So you can leave 10 forward then. Like,
Right, right.
what are we doing?
Also, she's a
You,
civilian, so she doesn't take orders.
yeah, yeah. She's not a member of Starfleet.
No,
So you can
you can go away.
off, yeah. Yeah, it's just it's messy. It's really
It
messy.
really is.
Really.
No,
Yeah.
it's yeah. The only thing I didn't like, and specifically Beverly's scene, is that she remarks that both Wesley and herself had painful childhoods. And I was
Yeah.
just like, because popularity is still a thing. And I was just like, I don't like it. I don't like that we're supposed to have this perfect, awesome society. And no, like, school is still terrible for everybody.
They both were bullied and they both, because they were
Right.
the smart ones, they both were bullied and they hated it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God. So what are these kids that aren't smart? What are they doing in society? Because nobody works for money.
Apparently, they're all the people that grow up that don't know how to build androids. I mean, really?
But
Yeah,
no, but you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
Like in our society, the people that bullied us, they played sports and then they grew up and they don't really have great jobs. I was like, okay.
Typically, right?
Like
Typically,
all of us smart kids, we found a way to be, programmers and engineers and that kind of stuff. So it's like, but this
yeah,
society is based on people being smart and intelligent and going into space. So everybody
right,
should be the nerds. There should be no jocks. There should be
right.
no different class of people in
We're all
school.
nerds. Yeah, we're all
It should
nerds.
all just be nerds. I don't understand. Why were you picked on?
Yep.
Why did you find it hard to have friends? Because he just was so good at his academics. Like, yeah, everybody is. Everybody is. It's all
Everybody.
rocket science. Everything that you're learning in school. Like, do they think about this at all when they're
No,
writing it?
no, no. Because it has to relate to the people in the '90s.
Right. And there has to be drama because if there's
Right.
no drama, nobody's gonna watch it.
Nope, not a single human.
I can't wait to see what Ed says because this is the stuff that he
Uh,
hyper focuses on.
it's true. It's
And
true.
I feel like I'm doing that this week.
I feel like I need an Ed review.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
gotta know what Ed thinks about this.
Then we'll get a full comedy review from Captain Alimar. Yeah,
I don't know what you guys are saying.
exactly. Yeah, then we end this sequence with Admiral Halftel being forceful for forceful's sake.
Admiral
I'm
Halfwit is
Yeah.
his real name. Yeah. Ooh, got him.
Got him burned.
Oh,
Hey, I think this is a great time to go down to the comment section and write halfwit
Admiral Halfwit.
because this
It's
is
Admiral Halfwit to you.
because this is the halfway point. Yeah, so we come back from commercial break. We learn that Lal in Hindi means beloved, which was nice.
Which is cool, yeah.
Guinan is super nice to Lal, which here is our last guest appearance, Whoopi Goldberg.
I'm always happy when Whoopi's here.
Yeah, she's super nice. She's super like accommodating, even though like Lal says she's super old and all this stuff. Like she's so nice to her.
Yeah, but
And
I didn't really understand that joke. Like I get like, well, you don't talk about like women's age and it's like rude, but also like Guinan is an alien and she's like 600 years old. So
right,
it's not really
right.
like insulting.
It's humor for the '90s audience.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Lal uses a verbal contraction, which Data
Yeah.
remarks he has not mastered that ability.
It's funny too because I didn't even pick up on that. Like the tone, like the music switches, and she's like, "What did you just say?" And I was like, "What?" I was like, "Why is she upset?"
What did you
You
just say?
didn't. You said I've.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, that's right. Data sometimes does that.
Yeah, I like that they're choosing a wording here by saying he hasn't mastered it, which is saying it's not impossible for Data to do it. He just cannot do it at command, which I
It equates
appreciate.
for all the times that he accidentally says the wrong thing in his lines. Really,
It's
is what that does.
exactly. And also, it's another one of those great ways of, like you said, when we watch Brent Spiner blink because he's a human in makeup, you're like, oh, well, that's just the Data thing. And like, oh, he used a verbal contraction. It's like, oh, but that's okay because he's explained that he hasn't mastered it. It's this smart way of explaining flaws in production, basically.
But like moving forward, though, maybe he won't be like that, or do they just forget that this episode happened next week?
That's an interesting thing. I think they definitely comment on it, but I want to say that, like, going forward, I think it's still kind of an issue. Yeah, he generally stays how he is in the show. I'm not going to spoil anything for you, but
Yeah, no, that's fine. I thought maybe that would be interesting if, because she's also like in his neural processing now that he was a little different.
I'll put it this way: the fun thing that you'll like is that they do a lot of cool things with Data as time goes on,
Cool. Him and Jeremy.
all night long. Then we learn of a specific term I just wrote, thought it was interesting, Daystrom Annex on Galore 4. So thought it was
Mm,
funny that we're still honoring the crazed scientist from TOS, Daystrom, Richard Daystrom.
Daystrom.
Yep. I mean, we honor him by having the channel named after him, Daystrom Holodeck, but
Warrior.
Warrior. Wow, what a thank you.
Thanks for inventing Warrior.
Applause.
Yeah, Daystrom.
Yep.
He's a cool dude.
I thought this was a really great bit between after we have the fun sequence of Data, Lal, and Guinan in 10 Forward. We cut to Picard and Data in the ready room discussing that the Admiral's coming and what is Data should expect to be happening. And I loved it because I felt like this was written very specifically and I really enjoyed it. It was Data totally like just smokes the Admiral in one sentence by saying, I am forced to wonder how much experience he had as a parent when his first child was born. And I was just like, man,
Yep.
that's such a like home run sentence.
It's a good dig without knowing that it's a dig.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Obviously, he did great, being aboard a starship
Of
and not
course.
being home and
Yeah,
being able to become admiral. Obviously, he didn't spend a lot of time at
obviously.
home on his 5-year missions constantly to become an admiral, but I'm sure he did great. I'm
Yeah.
sure he'd be a good judge of character to know.
Wouldn't it been really funny if Data had like found out his children's names and like used things that they've done in their lives that were
Yeah.
like questionable
Hmm.
or perhaps not the best?
So, Admiral, tell me, when your son
Right.
Harry became a drug addict,
When you,
huh?
no, just things. Yeah, I mean that'd be really funny. But if it was like, Admiral, I noticed that when your son applied for like being a helmsman, he failed these requisition things and had to go on to become engineer on the overnight. Do you feel that your parenting was
Yep.
inadequate?
Does that show just his overall thinking ability, or is it a lack in human parenting error?
Right, exactly. Exactly. Perfect, man. I love it.
You
I love
don't
it.
talk about my
Oh,
son.
but we then cut back to 10 forward with Guinan and Lal now. And now Guinan is teaching Lal about general flirtation and affection of the sexual kind.
Yeah.
And Lal does a great line that I wrote down. He's biting
That
my
human is biting her
hand.
face.
That was
Very
great.
good. Very funny. Yep. I
Yep.
like that.
And then she goes over and mimics the officers, and Riker comes back
Yep.
from his shuttle visit. He's like,
Yeah.
"Hey, you're new."
Ooh. New lady.
Yep, has to.
What are your intentions with my daughter?
So here's a weird thing, and I'm gonna do it. I'm sorry to everybody who's watching. I'm not gonna edit it out, and
Nice.
Caleb's not gonna like it either. But here we go.
I can't wait to see what you're doing.
So Lal grabs Riker, kisses him. Data
Yeah.
comes in. Hey, what am I to assume? What are your intentions with my daughter? Ha 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 ha. Father, child, leave it to Beaver kind of jokes. I get it.
Yeah.
But I was like, isn't this kind of a pedophilia joke? Because she's like 4 weeks old or whatever. It's like she's a child.
Yeah.
It's like it's really funny till that she kissed him. It's like I
Uh-huh.
don't think it is though. I think it's kind of weird. Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, yeah, it's weird. It does this weird thing of like showing that she still doesn't really understand what Guinan's like explaining to
Right.
her. And it's like, okay, but like maybe just let's just not write that into the episode at all.
Right. That's how I feel about it too.
Like let's just not dig into when you're training a child, let's like avoid the topic of sex for a while.
I think it would have been much more funny if Riker was like he wasn't like, hey, he was just kind of like, I haven't seen you here before in 10 forward. You must have just come on since me getting back from wherever on my with my shuttle. And then her being like, yes, would you like to bite my face? And him being like, what? Like him just being really confused. And then Data coming up and being like, Commander, I see you have met my daughter. And he's like, daughter? And he's like, yes. And then
Yeah.
he gives him he gives him the very complex issue like, Commander, I was wondering, I am faced with the situation that Admiral Halftel is doing blah 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 blah. Like he's making my life very complex, and he's questioning whether or not I have the right to raise Lal. And then Riker's like, well, I gotta get going. Because he's like, I'm not getting wrapped up into this like court proceeding
Yeah.
anymore. Like, no thanks. Like I already did this once. Like I can't, Data. Like you know where I stand, my friend, and I hope you have I hope you're able to raise your daughter. And he just kind of pieces out.
That is a good point though. Like having Riker also in that corner I think would have been good.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And I get he's directing it and it's hard for him to be in the episode. But still, I just feel like that would have been the better scene than like this
Well,
weird
yeah.
kissing thing, and then it's
That's
like,
honestly that's what makes this scene a little bit more weirder to me is that he was the one directing it.
yes.
So, and I think, like, yeah, whatever, like she's a robot, so like doesn't really matter, and she's not actually as old as she's
Right.
actually
Of
more
course.
older.
Of course.
But like her as an actress, she does look
Oh,
young.
yeah. I also think too it was supposed to for the audience to show that because she's asking about like sex and flirting and things of that nature, like she's reaching like the teenage years of her life
Yeah.
and her like understanding. And that's fine. But it's like even then, she's probably in terms still underage. So it just was
It plays,
it's a
yeah.
messy scene. It's a messy
It
scene.
is. It plays into that joke of like a guy in, being uncomfortable talking about it.
Right,
Like most
yes.
parents don't really want to have that conversation like with their kids.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
And it's like it's funny that she's awkward about it, but also like it's a robot.
Right.
Like it doesn't really need to be that like, well, I think you need to talk to your dad about the birds and the bees.
And it's like, why? What are bird? Why do?
Bees eradicated in the early 1900s. Did bees also used to bite faces? Yeah, good stuff.
Bees.
Of course, Guinan's an
erratic.
alien, so she wouldn't have said birds and bees anyway. It's some different alien words.
And then we end this bit with Lal expressing to Data that she wants to hold his hand because of affection.
Yes.
And not only does that happen and we feel good, we feel nice things about Lal showing affection to Data, but Data corrects her hand placement so that they can do it, showing that he has affection for her too. So it was a nice a nice mix there.
I like that.
Yeah, very nice.
It's funny. I do like this running theme that, when Data expresses that he doesn't have feelings or
Right.
emotions, but yet we see that he does things that like show that
Yeah.
he understands it more than he thinks he does.
Yeah, and that's why it's that great scene with Beverly when he walks away. He's like, I can be something to her, but I can't show her love. And he leaves, and Beverly's like, somehow I don't believe that to be true. And
Yeah.
it's like, excellent. Thank you.
The fact that he's fighting for her with the Admiral to not leave the ship already shows that you view her more as a machine, like you love her. Like he legitimately wants like what's best for her. And by not being able to bear like her being gone at the end,
Yeah,
obviously,
totally.
yeah.
So we come back from that commercial break of them holding hands, and basically Halftel's argument is we need that new android now. His arguments are so weak that they make no sense. And all of the things that are brought up in the trial of Data, which we know isn't an episode that actually happened now, it just makes all of that parts like moot. Like, why did that trial happen? All of his arguments towards Data just don't make any sense.
I get the impression though that like he's lying
I guess, yeah.
because he's gonna do whatever he's gonna do and say whatever he wants as an admiral to take basically kidnap this robot. Because he starts off with it, being dangerous and blah 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 and whatever and all these other reasons, and they're better equipped to train her, and even though they don't understand robotics and they have made no breakthroughs, all that junk. And then it boils down to the next time he tries it, he's like, me and Starfleet, we come to the conclusion that like both of you guys are too important,
Yeah.
and having you both on the same ship would be catastrophic if you both died. Like we would lose out on both of you being able to study both of you.
Right.
And Picard's like, yeah, that's true, but also like this is the Enterprise, dude, and nothing ever happens to the Enterprise, so that's a bad argument.
Yeah. Yes. And the thing I go back to this episode should have taken place at the cybernetic conference is that it would have been so much more of a satisfactory episode that he has this positronic matrix that he's calling Lal, and he's going to leave, and instead of it making it a Starfleet admiral who has no reason to be this upset about it, make it some other alien scientist from another area who's not a part of the Federation, or is in a sense, and he's arguing with Data that he shouldn't be able to do this thing, and he's fighting for the whole, does he have the right
Cybernetic department. Yeah.
Right. And we have Bruce Maddox show up, and he defends Data. It's him and Data defending his right to be a parent.
Oh, wow, that would be crazy.
Right? Like, you show that Bruce Maddox, yeah, he got slapped. He had to change his mind, but now they're friends, and like they work together.
This is a battle you lose, trust me.
Right. And like show that like humanity becomes better people. Like after that episode, Bruce Maddox is like a good guy. Like now it's him and Data against these people. And don't make them humans. Don't make them Federation people, because we've already set precedent in the episode Measure of a Man that this is how Starfleet views Data. He's not Starfleet property. So they have no control over what he is other than him just being a military officer. Period.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep. Yeah, you've already ruled on it. It's already in the court hearing. It's already like in Starfleet manuals now moving forward in like the academies and stuff. And it's like we're done with it. We're done with it.
Right.
Yeah, I know. And I think I asked you while we were watching, I was like, so I don't understand. Like, what is this? Is he like the admiral, but he's like the head of the cybernetics department? Like, why does he have such a vested interest? I don't understand.
All of his arguments are valid, and then Data or Lal open their mouth, and they're immediately just don't make any sense. You're like, oh, okay, that's his argument, and then it's like that doesn't make any sense. And you're like, oh.
The issue is that when you ask them what they both want, and Data wants her to stay on board, and she also wants to stay on board. She even said it's logical that I would go and learn at your complex after I learn everything I can on the ship. Okay, great. Then we'll see you then, right? No, it's not satisfactory. We want you to come now. Now. And it's like, okay, dude.
It's mind-blowing. These are the arguments that they wrote. This is just as bad writing as Data being like, are you suggesting that terrorism works? And Picard being like, I don't know.
Sometimes, maybe, but
we haven't really figured that out.
In 400 years, we're still very confused by it.
No idea. Yeah. Anyways,
stupid. It sucks,
it
honestly.
really does. It really does. And then to your
I,
point, I
I mean,
wrote,
you remember when we were watching it, you saw how visibly like annoyed I was getting with him every time he was talking on screen. I was
yeah,
like, what is this guy? I don't understand.
yeah, it was bad.
Who is this guy?
Why is this man? Yeah.
I think he just stole like a Federation uniform somewhere. He's not even a part of Starfleet.
But I wrote this part that we talked about, what you had brought up specifically. I wrote, an android not acting like a human, dangerous. An android acting like a human, wasteful.
Dangerous. Wasteful. Yeah.
This is like, oh, okay. Whatever.
Got it. Yeah, what are you gonna have it do?
Right. And to me, you touched on it too. Lal saying she'd like to stay on the Enterprise is like the discussion is over. We're closing the book. Sorry, Admiral. Like
That's
she's
it.
she's
Oh,
just-
I didn't
she's-
mean to ask you.
Oh,
Well, no, that's a good point, Admiral. Actually, what do you want, Lowell? I mean, I forgot that we even do that.
oh, that's
Ooh,
right.
totally slipped my mind. What do you want as like a being?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's right. You do have rights.
Oh, right. Well, that solves it, Admiral. I guess. Well, I guess I'll just have to kidnap her then. I don't know.
uh,
Belay
Yeah,
that
and
order. Belay that order, Data. Like, yeah, I
apparently,
beg your what? I beg your what? God. But we talked about this before, though, and this is a good point.
yeah,
Why do they constantly want us to think that for you to get into the position of an admiral, you have to be just an absolute idiot piece of garbage?
I do
They
not know.
all are bad. Every single admiral we've seen, they're always this bad, scheming, manipulative jerk.
Yep.
And it's like, why is that a thing?
It must be some weird commentary on like people in charge, like in a modern sense, like well, we're speaking
Yeah.
poorly of those in authority,
Yes,
but
yeah.
it's like, but we don't have that issue in the future, right?
But
Admirals
we're not in that society.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Well, I don't know, because even in TOS he did it. Gene Roddenberry did all. There's so many admirals and people in that series that are also stupid and terrible.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. I mean, the one comes on board, he's trying to like live forever and he jeopardizes
Oh.
everybody. He's a jerk and,
Yeah, well, yeah.
But honestly, even Shatner, when he
That's
becomes
what I
an
mean.
admiral in the movies, he's like, well, I don't care. I'm taking the Enterprise. You're not captain anymore. I'm going to be the captain.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, so at least like even the captains that we like, they do the same thing when they become admiral.
Maybe they're really good people, and then when they get promoted to admiral, they hate that they lost command of a ship, and they just are they're just power hungry.
It goes straight to their head.
Yeah, I don't know, but apparently
They put the skitterbug goes in them.
Apparently, Law was learning emotions, and she goes to Troy and says that she physically feels fear, which could mean something for Data.
Yeah.
Down the line, but
yeah, that's cool.
But it's time for trivia.
Oh, not again.
All right, now you're overacting.
So this was the first Star Trek episode written by Renee Echevarria.
Nice.
Which essentially had the working title Bloodlines. Was a spec script written by him. Michael Pillar recalled, The Offspring was a great spec script, except it was at first barely about our people. It was really about a very brand new, exciting female android that Data created out of his own image. And it was all about her. And I said, that's great, but it can't be about the guest star. It's got to be about one of our people. It's got to be about Data. It's not about Data's child as much as it is about how Data deals with being a parent. Everybody will be able to relate to that and empathize with the problems he has as a parent of a new child, especially when that child is threatened by all sorts of outside forces. So, I mean, I don't disagree with him. You obviously want it to be like an anchor person in the show. But
that's a great story if you keep the Admiral out of it.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
100% agree with you.
When we were first watching it, I thought when they were doing the scene with like, why would the children laugh and make fun of me? It was like, oh boy.
Yeah.
A robot becoming aware that it's people hate it Like, where have I seen this before? This isn't going to be good. But nope, nope, no, nothing like that.
Nope. According to the story, changed considerably. Initially, Data was the father, and the ship's computer was the mother.
Oh my God. Jordy.
Yeah. There was some comedy. Data argued with the computer about how to raise Lal. It had some jeopardy with a Ferengi,
Oh my God.
but what made Michael excited was that it took place entirely on the Enterprise. That they
Yeah.
needed a money saver, and this was just the ticket.
Say most episodes take place entirely on the Enterprise.
Yeah. The episode proceeded to develop as a group effort. According to Michael Piller, it was a great concept that I wanted to do, so we sat down with Gene Roddenberry and he came up with
Yay.
a number of suggestions and said this is what would make it fit into the Star Trek Bible. Rick Berman added some crucial pieces to the puzzle. We were very determined to protect the uniqueness of Data as a character, but at the same time, it seemed to make perfect sense that one of the human traits that Data would have observed and perhaps covet is procreation and parenting. He would also know that his value to Starfleet was so great that if he were ever in an accident, he's too valuable to end with himself. And then Melinda M. Snodgrass noted, I did a page one rewrite and Michael did another rewrite. So Melinda had a hand in this, which we clearly know from all of the good lines,
Yeah.
Data and Lal.
Yeah, all of the actual good points that Data makes, and
Yeah.
the actual good dialogue between like what a sentient being is. Yeah.
So it's interesting to see that even at this point, still in this episode, that Gene Roddenberry they're still going to Gene for a couple tweaks and twists, which I gotta admit, I don't think he's the reason why this sucked. I don't think so.
No, but it's funny that you it's funny that you brought up the Ferengi as being like an option. And then you're like, yeah, so they sat down with Gene. I was like, well, there's where the Ferengi stuff came from.
I don't think so, but yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Like, why would that even be an option? I'm bringing the freaking Ferengis
Why
into
would
it.
that happen? Yeah.
Oh my God.
This was the first Star Trek episode to be directed by Jonathan Frakes, obviously, and the first to be directed by a member of the cast. Now, Leonard Nimoy
Oh,
and
really? I
William
thought we've seen one before.
No.
Did he write a screenplay? No, I could have swore we talked about an episode where Jonathan was involved.
He's done Strange New Worlds episodes. He's directed those.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, okay, maybe. I'm just getting my wires crossed. Yeah.
So
Cool.
even though Nimoy and Shatner did films, Jonathan Frakes is the first cast member of like TOS and TNG to direct an episode. So Jonathan
That's cool.
Frakes, yeah. So Jonathan Frakes recalls, I went to Rick Berman and said I'd like to do a show. He said I'd have to go to school. And so I spent about 300 hours in the editing room and on the dubbing stage learning about that side of it. Editing was the side of things I felt weakest in. I naturally looked over the shoulders of all our regular directors and took some seminars, read textbooks, and finally I didn't go away. Rick was kind enough to give me The Offspring, and I was thrilled because I got a Data show, and those always work.
It just works.
And funny enough, I don't know if they've had a full episode out yet, and I don't know if Caleb you can watch it, so I'm sorry to bring it
Nope.
up, but
I don't get to watch anything fun.
Brett Spiner and Jonathan Frakes have started a podcast, so
Oh, cool.
yeah, so it's pretty cool. Jonathan Frakes also enjoyed collaborating with the shooting company that worked on this episode. He says, it was such a dysfunctional, wonderful family, both in front of and behind the camera on the show. He continues to reminisce. By the time I directed on the third season, we'd all been together for 3 years. It was for 10 months a year, so everyone knew each other and generally really loved each other. The cast was wonderful and hysterically funny, and I was given a big bullhorn by the sound department. It was a very happy time. They all took the piss out of each other, and people were refusing to do what I asked. Everybody behaved exactly the way you'd want them to.
That's cool.
Yeah. So here is a picture of him talking to Haley Todd.
I don't remember this room with the bonsai trees.
I'm pretty sure if you look in the foreground, I think those are the little kids' heads, and that's when she's standing over by the corner.
Oh.
Yeah, I think he's like probably telling her like how to stand and like what.
So these arborist nerds are making fun of a robot? That's funny.
Yeah. You'll like this, I thought. I found it and I enjoyed it greatly. Melinda Snodgrass commented, I felt it was fairly obvious and tired and stupid, and I didn't want to do it. It had a lot to do with the measure of a man, which I don't think we needed to do again so soon. It was a
Well,
good show for Jonathan to start with. It was a nice bottle show, and he didn't have to cope with alien creatures.
it's true. Wow, that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, she wasn't a fan of it, apparently.
We just did this and you're yeah.
And better.
Well, that's interesting though, because if she knew that and felt that way, you would think she
Yeah.
would have gone out of her way to be like, you guys, we've already discussed all this stuff.
Hey, she's a lady, and two,
Well,
she's
I know.
she's one voice in a room. So
Well, yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. I know.
I
I
know
know.
we hold Melinda Snodgrass very high, but I don't think
Yeah.
at the time they did. So
No, no, when she has to explain like what science actually is and how, how space works
yeah, and
to
also
the
episodes.
male writers and they tell her to shut up, like that's kind of what you're dealing with.
Yeah, also to remind them that we've already done this episode, and
Yeah, we
and
love you, Melinda. You were the best one, in case
yeah,
nobody told you.
that's right. Okay, then I'll just read this from the Copiendum for it. I'll just read it out of the book. It says, it wasn't actress Haley Todd beneath all that gold in the sequence where Data introduced Lal to Geordie and Troy. It
Yeah,
was
Will told me.
actor-dancer Leonard Crowfoot, who had previously appeared in Angel One. Only one actor in 1,000 would have agreed to endure what Leonard endured, Michael Westmore says. We made a full head appliance that covered his nose and ears and dropped the mouth hole down to his chin, so he couldn't hear well or breathe through his nose. And in order to breathe at all, he had to stick his finger in the mouth hole.
Nice. That's really cool. That's really cool. Yeah. There's only one other actor that would come to mind that would endure what he went through, and that's the actor that had to be in that clear quarantine plastic.
Oh, wow, yes. Yep.
Because my God, did that look horrible?
Yeah. That meant he could only breathe between scenes when the camera wasn't running. Plus, since he was wearing silverized contact lenses, his vision was severely impaired.
Perfect. That's great.
Because Lal at this point was supposed to appear androgynous, Westmore designed a square pectoral covering for Crowfoot's chest, thus removing the nipples. His
Nice.
team also built a foam gender-hiding diaper that was
Uh-huh.
glued to the actor's crotch.
Excellent.
Just putting on the makeup was brutal for Leonard, recalls makeup man Doug Drexler. Luckily, he was one of the most zen guys I've ever met. He stopped eating the day before and got his entire system cleared out so that he wouldn't have to pee during the day. He
Oh my
knew
God.
he knew it would be a disaster if we had to get him out of that thing before he was done shooting. But surprisingly, that wasn't the worst Crowfoot had to endure.
Of course, yeah.
Mike gave him some gold makeup paint that he said would wash off with soap and water. I
Yeah.
thought, really? I had my doubts.
It didn't.
But I began applying it at 2 a.m., Drexler says.
Uh,
It took 4.5 hours. Then he faced that long shooting day. Finally, long after dark, the crew went home and I started taking him out of the gold makeup. Mike had an early call for the next morning, so it was only me. I started putting makeup remover on his arm and, well, forget it, Drexler snorts. That makeup paint was bulletproof. After hours and hours of rubbing, I called Mike and asked
ugh.
if he could get somebody to open the studio gym, which he did. That's when I got into the shower with Lenny Crowfoot and a loofah sponge. I scrubbed him
Ugh.
down like I was giving my dog a bath.
Oh my God.
It was memorable, Drexler says with a chuckle. I'd never taken a shower with a man before. And
Uh-huh.
Crowford still had 2 more days of shooting ahead of him. We worked on different combinations of makeup remover, Westmore notes, and by the final night, we were able to get him cleaned up in only an hour and 20 minutes.
Oh, nice. So his
So
skin was like trashed basically after that. So
for
you're saying?
eternity. And here's a behind the scenes shot of him standing there and how they filmed him in the holodeck. So just to make Caleb laugh
Oh,
and anybody else in our who's watching this in our area that'll enjoy that, I'm just gonna say Utica strong.
yeah, baby.
Once you
Riggies, tomato pie, greens, buddy. Woo!
once you go through a nor'easter, you can go through
Yeah.
anything.
It's a Utica thing, buddy.
Exactly, exactly.
Hey.
Yeah.
That's really
That,
funny. Yeah, that sucks. It really
that
sounds like
really
it sucks.
sucks.
Yeah.
I think I reached out to him. I wanted to get him on here to interview. I might try to see if we can interview him again, especially with him being in, raised in our general area and doing that terrible thing. So
Yeah, that would be great to talk to him.
yeah, I know.
Does he still live up here, or
I think he
did
lives in California, last I
he
read.
smartened up and moved to California? Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah. No, yeah.
Yeah, so that was trivia. We talked about it briefly. The Admiral brings up that he doesn't want them to get destroyed on the Enterprise in case something's happening, because they're the only Soong type androids. And I was like, but there's three of them. You have lore. So big fart in your face.
Well, we don't talk about lore either. So
That's true. I thought it was a really interesting point that Data's purpose to create LOL was to give something back to Starfleet. I thought that
yeah,
was
that was cool.
I thought that was a great line. And Admiral Halftel just doesn't care. He says, "I am Starfleet."
I am Starfleet. Like, no, you're a small fraction of Starfleet, my dude.
Yeah, yep.
Unacceptable.
Then a really interesting bit happens. I thought this was good too. Picard starts to push for another trial because he's like, "We're going to go back and we're going to meet with everybody," and then Troy interrupts.
Mm-hmm.
And they go and we find Lal is failing and breaking down. The Admiral suddenly, Sam Archer leaps into him. He has a change of heart. He'd love to help Data repair Lal.
Uh-huh.
And I thought the cranial access piece that probably
Oh, that was cool.
Westmore and Doug Drexler designed, maybe even
Yeah.
Mike Akuda, thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
And then we get a nice big fat disgusting racist bow on top of it because Halftel now has a heart, which was amazing. His hands.
Yeah.
His hands. It's like I like what he says, but I hate him.
Yeah, but it doesn't do anything now because all he wanted to do was just pull her apart and experiment on her anyway. So I don't care. Like, why is he emotional that she's dying?
Right. It's like
You've just argued the fact that she doesn't have rights. She's not a being. She needs to be at a scientific lab.
Don't you
And
feel
now
like
she's like dying? You're like, oh, what a loss.
I feel like what would have happened was have Picard, Troy, Geordi, and Wesley all standing in the hallway, and Beverly comes out because she's worked on Data before, and
Yeah.
you just watch Halftel walk down the hallway. He's like angry. He's like, I told you, Picard. Like, he comes out first and he's like, I told you, Picard, if we had gotten her to Galore 4, we could have saved her. It's your fault that you didn't let her go there. Like, she could have lived. I'm letting Starfleet Command know that your decision to drag this whole thing out cost her existence. And he's like,
Yeah.
he leaves, and then have Beverly come out of the room, and she delivers all of Halftel's lines, where she's
I think
like,
that's yeah.
like, oh, I couldn't believe it. Like
His hands.
right.
His horrible yellow hands. No, I think that's a really good point, actually.
It's stupid.
Continue to have him be the heel. I mean, that's what
Yeah.
you've made him.
Yeah. Him
Yeah.
having
I also really would enjoy a scene where Data says, "If you don't mind, Admiral, I really would like to be with my daughter alone in her
Ooh.
last moments. So please
Yeah.
leave me and my family alone. Like, you don't need to be in here."
right.
You know? And like, obviously that you're not gonna do that because that's the whole point is, Data's
Yeah.
a better person. Data's
Right.
a better human than he'll ever be.
Right. Right.
But like that would have been very impactful, right? Like,
yes.
yeah, you're not part of my family, and I want to be with my family.
Yeah, and so Data prepares Lal to die. We go through her shutting down. We do the systematic thing, which I thought was heartbreaking, but also very well written, where she does like kissing, hand holding.
Yeah,
She rolls
comedy,
painting,
puppies.
right? And then she's like female, and then she ends on human.
Man.
Right, yeah. I thought it was good. I like that. Yeah.
It was good. Yeah, it's kind of sad. I wasn't expecting this to be the end of this episode.
Yeah,
I was not expecting this was where this was gonna go.
I know. It's a
Yeah.
heavy episode. Yeah, it's heavy. At the end at least.
Data and Lull, to me, of all the bad things I've said about the Admiral and Starfleet and Picard in this episode, they really help make it an episode of their own. And that's why I think I still would put it as high as I did because they're great and they're the main focus of the episode.
Yeah.
You're supposed to hate the Admiral. I get it. You
Right.
know, it's bad writing for Starfleet yet again.
And you have to make a way for the Admiral to show up randomly, so you got to make Picard be like kind of on the fence about the whole thing, so that he
Yeah.
can inform Starfleet. It's like I get it, I get with the path, but it just didn't need to happen the way
You got to have Picard be mad and then have a worse person show up to show that, like, well, yeah,
I'm
I
not,
don't
yeah,
really agree.
I'm not
Like, have a
that.
mirror held up to him.
Exactly.
This is why my doctor character in our RPG, this is why, like, I'm not a fan of Starfleet because me as Caleb am not a fan of Starfleet most of the time. So it's easy for me to play that role.
Yeah, well, also the show just makes it really easy to not like Starfleet Command.
They do a really good job, yeah.
Then Data comes to the bridge. He tells them that her like neurons or whatever he says like degraded. She's practically dead, but he holds her memories, which will be an interesting thing going forward. And then I just thought personally, with Patrick Stewart being who he is and what this could have meant, and I know it has to linger on the whole like Data has no emotions and we just let that sit. We let that kind of hold. I just felt like, other than saying, the whole crew sympathizes with with you, Data. I think that
Yeah.
after Data says something, he rebuttals instead of just Picard going, please take your station, assume your command. I think he should have said something, just something a little Picardy, like give something,
Yeah.
say something with some weight, some gravitas to it. So,
How many episodes though have we had where we say, I wish Picard would have added more at the end to this? Or
almost every episode.
yeah, we had a lot of episodes where Picard's just like, that was crazy.
Anyway.
Hit it.
I mean, really, if we were to reach that stage in YouTube and we could have a merch store, I mean, one of our shirts would easily be like, well, that was weird. Anyways, engage. Like, it would just like,
Yeah, it totally would be. I was blown away in the scene. Speaking of this, is when Law comes into Troy and she's brushing her hair and she having like a breakdown of like emotion, and Troy's just like, "Wow, that's unusual." Anyway, back to brushing my hair.
yeah. Yes.
But no, she actually like followed her out of the room. She was like,
She
"Hey,
did.
this isn't good." I was like, "Wow, wow, wow."
She's actually doing her job.
I've never seen this before.
Totally agree. Well, that was our review of the episode. We hope you guys like listening to our thoughts. But before we close it out, let's do the thing that everyone's been waiting for.
Caleb? Caleb, Caleb, Caleb.
No, I'm not doing that.
So, Caleb, who gets the Erica Ortegas Award for being the most unlikable character of the episode?
Oh, let me think about this for a second. Who could it be? Oh, the Admiral.
Oh. Oh, wow. Are you sure you didn't want to pick
Beverly.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, it's bad when they write a character to be bad for bad for bad.
For bad sake. Yeah.
It's like he is bad. Why? Because he is bad. Why? Because bad. Okay.
Because need to be. Picard's a close second, honestly. But
Ooh, that's interesting. I like that.
he's real sucky this episode.
Next is the Elizabeth Cutler Award for being the most forgettable character of the episode.
Ooh, a Worf.
You've had that's because you've seen the episode twice. You're ready.
That's true. Yeah, I'm real polished this time. No,
I'm
it's
re-
actually because maybe we're better off doing these in the morning because I'm less talkative and animate about stuff. So
You're like, I don't know. I didn't watch it. I watched it like 8
yeah,
hours ago. I don't
I don't
care.
know. I went to bed 2 hours ago. I don't care what this is.
And then at nighttime, we record like a 3 hour long video.
Yeah, because I just run my mouth and it's all just a big joke.
Oh, God. Great. Next is the Mugatu Award for the best alien of the episode.
Oh, the Andorian. It's terrible. Love it.
You're cooking. You're cooking now. You're cooking. I love it.
Yeah, I got stuff to do.
I got stuff to do. Move on. Move on. Next one. What's the next one? Next one is the Trip Tucker Award for the MVP of the episode.
Data, Lull, or Guinan. Those are my three.
Those are the three. And if you had to pick the most valuable of them.
Well, Data put himself in the position in the first place.
Yep.
Lull didn't even ask to be born,
Like none of us.
like many of us. Yeah, I'm actually gonna say Guinan. I think there's a lot of stuff off screen that we don't see,
Yeah.
but I think she is doing a good job, like raising Lull to be, understand human stuff. I think that was cool. I think that was a good idea taking her there.
Yeah, and also like she gives Lal a job and like lets her do things.
Yeah.
Like Beverly gives good advice, but like Guinan actually lets her be a part of like society.
She's the one that honestly treats her most like a machine. She makes her work for no compensation.
And then just gets mad at her for not doing what she told
Yeah.
her to do. Yeah.
Lol, these drinks are supposed to be at table 6.
Okay, next is the Spock Award for the best line of the episode.
Here's one off the top of my head. Data says, I've brought a new life into this world, and it is my duty, not Starfleet's, to guide her through these first difficult steps to maturity, to support her as she learns, to prepare her to be more contributing member of society. No one can relieve me from that obligation, and I cannot ignore it. I am her father. There you go. That's just off the top of my head. I remembered that.
Just right off your top of your head.
Yep. Pulled it right out.
Love it. That's a really good one.
Good one. Thank you.
Wow, that's good. That was almost like you remembered exactly what he said.
I don't think it really was word for word. I think
Probably,
it's a roundabout. Yeah.
Yeah. It is a really good scene. I do like because he hesitates in that scene and he pauses and he says, her father. He kind of like his argument is like, but I'm also her parent. Yeah. So that's a good line. Well, next is the Shran Award for the best action sequence.
The best action scene is when Data's holding a foot and he says, the game, Geordie, is a foot. Yeah, I like it.
I love it. Good. The action part of that is Lal going back into the ceiling. Got it. I love it.
Behold!
Behold!
My robot offspring!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, next is the NX-01 award for some sweet ship stuff.
I do actually like the thing that she's in. That scene too, specifically where Wesley's like, Data, what is she doing? You're at work. And he's like, oh, she studies in my room. She's like in the thing and she's got that little chip in her uplink chip or whatever. Yeah. But I like when he goes around and he opens the door.
The gate thing. Yeah.
It's cool. I like the aesthetic of, I can totally tell that it's all plywood.
Been
painted, texturized painted.
Right.
But I do really enjoy it.
Cool.
It's pretty cool.
But
it is cool how it goes into the ceiling, and I like to see how they built that,
Yeah. I was hoping to find it in
trivia, so I'll never know.
No, you'll never know. We'll ask Mike Okuda when he comes on the podcast.
Yeah.
So we'll take the cybernetic bay. We'll take it. Whatever part of the ship that was. Next is the Porthos Award for the cheesiest thing of the episode.
Is it when everybody tries to go in to see what Data's been working on, that he's been keeping it a secret, and Wesley's been trying to go in, spy on him? Yeah, him lowering her to put her foot on and then raise her back up and be like, okay, now let me show you what I've been
Right.
doing.
It feels very, which I'm fine with, because Data doing human things is fun, but it feels very unlike Data to be like, do that much pomp and circumstance. If not just
Yeah.
being like, hold on a second, and then like, now you may enter, and then like, look at what I have done.
He was being very theatrical, which is not like him.
Yeah, it's not like a very like calculated, logical thing to do. But it could be proof that he's becoming more human, which is
But it's not. So it is the cheesiest thing
Okay.
in this episode.
okay. Well, lastly and finally is the Star Trek Enterprise Award for the best scene of the episode.
I like the little montage when Data's teaching her things. I like how she's so disinterested from the painting that she walks away. I think that's funny.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
I really enjoy when she tries to catch the ball like 10 seconds too late. I think that's very good. So I like that little like training montage. I think that's
Just
my
that
favorite.
We'll take it. I love it too. Well, very good. That is what Caleb awarded this episode. We appreciate him doing that. We know he loves it. He loves taking the time to do it. But now it's your turn to go down to the comment section and tell us what you thought of the episode. Please write your own review. Did you like it? Did you love it? Did you want more of it? Or did you find that this Offspring was not worth the procreation? Let us know.
Oh.
Down below.
Next time on Star Trek The Next Generation.
Next week's episode, we're continuing in season 3 of Star Trek The Next Generation. And that episode is entitled, another parent episode, Sins of the Father.
Nice.
So we'll see what that's all about. We look forward to tackling that. I think Caleb will enjoy that. Should be good. Yeah, stick with us. We're going to keep on keeping on until season 3 is over and keep on going. So, as always, if you enjoyed our review of this episode, like the video. If you disliked our review of this episode, dislike the video. Share it with all your friends and family and Trek enthusiasts. Subscribe so you don't miss a review, and ring that bell so you can watch our review as soon as it comes out. And then, if you're done watching reviews of Star Trek on this channel, you can always head on over to Caleb's channel. Caleb has a fun prop tutorial channel where he creates things from pop culture and other things of that nature. He 3D prints them, he makes them out of foam. He tells you how to make it yourself for a low, low cost of only $19.99 a month. No, no. So
I'm gonna start them.
So you can always go over there and catch the latest thing he's doing. But also, every single month on the 19th, him and I do another podcast series under our other subheading, The Nerd Holes, where we talk about Dragon Ball Z. And soon, just a little over a week from this episode, we are going to cover part 2 of the Perfect Cell Saga, Dragon Ball Z.
Right. It's going to be great.
Goku and Gohan are in the time capsule thing.
Hyperbolic time chamber.
There you go.
Yep.
And
it's kind of like a holodeck.
It's kind of like a holodeck. And Trunks and Cell are fighting. We'll see how that concludes.
Yeah.
We'll see how that concludes.
You'll get to see Cell's perfect form for the first time. So that's exciting.
Perfection. Yeah, so we have that to look forward to.
I got some cool stuff. I've been working on some cool stuff.
Very good. So always keep a lookout on his channel. Find a video, like it, comment, leave a suggestion of something for him to make or something for us to watch and give our own discussion on.
If there's going to be a new video, my videos always come out on Thursday. So
there you go. Look for those Thursdays.
Yep. So check it out on Thursday. And if you don't see something new, watch something old. There's lots of cool stuff.
Yeah. So whatever you decide, at least please subscribe. We thank Ed, Mark, Star, and Captain Alimar once again for their Patreon support. We really appreciate those guys sticking it out with us, staying loyal, and just enjoying our nonsense. We really appreciate those guys. We look forward to Sins of the Father next week. And so, Caleb, send us out.
Computer, show me what Lieutenant Worf was doing while Data was teaching his daughter how to be human. Thank you. La-da-da!
Oh, wait, that's right. Klingons don't bathe.
Yeah. Well, see you next week, everybody.
See ya.